Most of us are at least familiar with one or two stories of the Greek gods. We have the image of them as being numerous and of engaging in all kinds of jealousies and disputes, sometimes fighting against each other, but often teaming up against a common enemy. But what are the Henads? We know much less about them. This is a metaphysical term that is often used interchangeably with the word gods. They are not exactly the same, though. The word Henad is actually a transliteration of a Greek word that means oneness. But if Henad refers to the gods, then surely they are a manyness because there are so many gods. At least that seems like a natural assumption. In this video, I want to introduce you to what the Henads actually are and how they function. I will be drawing from my understanding of the 5th century Platonic philosopher Proclus. Proclus describes the Henads as a oneness that directly proceeds from the first principle, the One. We call the first principle the One because unity is the condition for all existence. Nothing can exist without unity. From trees to mountains to human beings or the clothes that we wear. Take away the unity, and the thing ceases to exist. Whether we are spiritual or not, whether we are actively seeking the One, or have never heard these teachings before, we are all drawn to feeling whole and complete in our hearts and in our minds. Our perfection is in unity, and so, in metaphysics, the One is also called the Good. But if the One is also called the Good, that means the oneness or Henad which radiates from the One is also goodness. And so the function or activity of the Henad is that of bestowing goodness on its objects, or what in Platonism we call participants. We call this activity Providence. In Greek, the word is pronoia, which literally means prior to intellect. And this is because providence directs and guides the divine intelligence. The divine intelligence is vital in its being that turns on itself and so knows itself. And so it is intellectual. And providence, by guiding and leading the intelligence, radiates goodness to all that is. Now, Proclus has named 6 functions in particular that are functions of providence: perfecting, protecting, purifying, preserving, vitalizing, and so it is generative or life-giving, and turning about or reverting to itself. These 6 function together as a unity. Collectively, they are providence, the activity of divine goodness. This goodness turns on itself, and by doing so, it knows itself and discovers its origin. And this results in the birth of being. And so this flow of goodness that creates being then unfolds all of reality. When these providential activities function together with vital intellectual being, we call these the eidos in Greek. They are the multitude of absolute realities that unfold all that is. In academia, these eidos are often called forms or ideas. It is important to understand that despite being called forms, they have no shape. And despite being called ideas, they are not concepts. They are absolute realities with divine goodness at their root. This goodness is depicted in mythology as the pantheon of the gods. And their interactions with humans symbolizes the expressions of divine goodness as it reaches through the realms of reality to our physical world. Yet, despite the multiplicity of the gods as they are expressed mythologically in our physical world of differentiation, they are ultimately aspects of a divine oneness. And this divine oneness is carried providentially to all the realms of reality, right down to the trees and the rivers. But to say that all is infused with gods is not quite accurate. Divinity is not something outside of our world and added to it, as mythology might seem to suggest. It is one of the very conditions that allows all that is to be all that it is.